it didn't believe in it.
Well, what do you mean?
Ain't gonna work, dude.
Well,
We're not distracted.
It doesn't make sense, yo. Like, I don't understand. Well, why would you read a whole book cover to cover and then not believe in it?
Newton didn't believe in it. The person that wrote it didn't believe in it.
Well, what do you mean?
Okay, I'm gonna post in the chat. He wrote a letter.
Indio. He's got brain damage.
Yeah, that's okay, dude. We can work with him.
Are you sure?
I speak fluent retard. Okay, dude. Hold on your pants.
Okay, I got my smart pants on. I'm ready to go. Okay, so what does it say? It is an inconvenience rule.
Got a mumble rapper in the house.
Read it out loud to the class.
I can't really do that. I'm kind of dyslexic. Yeah, does anybody else want to volunteer?
Well, there's the thing Indio posted, and then there's the thing Jenna
posted the same thing. It's the same thing.
Okay. Yeah, it says that gravity should be innate, inherent, and essential to matter, so that one body may act upon another at a distance through a vacuum without the mediation of anything else, by and through which their action and force may be conveyed from one to another, is to me so great an absurdity that I believe no man who has in philosophical matters a competent faculty of thinking can ever fall into it. That's what Isaac Newton said. What do you think of that?
Isaac Newton insulted you. What do you think of that? He said you were a man that does not have a competent faculty in philosophical matters. Those are fighting words. I think you should dig him up and kick his ass.
Given what philosophy's become, it might be a compliment these days.
But here's a serious question: how do you get from an apple falling to the ground to Earth's globe? I don't understand why you guys do that. I like that. Like, how? What's the logical connection? Thing fall down, go boom boom.
Same way you get from a candle to a light bulb. You wouldn't understand.
Oh no, it's Junior Pinhead again. What happened to the guy you were talking to?
Look, if a light bulb combusts, it doesn't work. That's what Edison spent like 10 years developing a filament so that it wouldn't catch on fire.
Okay, all right. So
are you a dummy, dude? Of epic proportion?
Okay, all right. Yeah, we get it. You're the smartest guy in this room.
A freaking candle to a light bulb? Dude, go on mute.
All right. Okay. So, like, if you're denying,
sounds like I struck a nerve there, buddy.
If you're denying that,
the nerve might my. Hold on 1 second. Sorry, Musa. Yeah, you did strike a nerve. How can you be so fucking stupid? You hurt me on the inside. Sorry. Go ahead, Musa.
All right. Okay. So, if you're denying gravity, if you're denying,
I'm not denying it. What's there to deny? What am I denying?
Okay, so is the Earth floating?
Floating in where?
Like in space?
No, there is no outer space.
Okay, so you're telling me that...
Why do you think there's an outer space? Hold on, let me ask you. Why do you think there's an outer space vacuum? Oh my god, I stroked for the 95th time, then got muted. Oh my god, I'm so edgy. Next. I did that. I wasn't even looking at the screen. That was like a look away mute button.
Okay, all right. So does the Earth have a base or no? Like is it floating or does it have a base? It's
not inside of something.
Okay, so
you already tried this infinite regression fallacy. You already tried it. The Earth is not inside something, dude.
Okay, so what is it?
What do you mean? What is it? It's the Earth. It's unique. It's not in a category. It's its own thing.
So is the sun floating?
What do you mean floating?
Goodness. What is with these questions?
I'm asking, like, is the sun floating or not?
Okay, floating means you're in something else and the buoyant force is pushing you up. The sun is not in a medium where there's a buoyant force pushing it up.
So how is it spinning?
The sun is spinning?
Or the Earth is spinning?
How do you know that?
Yeah, but yeah, because you told me. Yeah, because we have day and night. Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
That's
Okay.
because
So
the
how does
sun
that work?
moves. That's because the sun moves
Like, how does the sun move?
across the sky.
No, like, is somebody grabbing it, spinning it, or
What do you mean spinning it? Like, where are you getting this spin shit?
it looks like a ball to me.
So?
He wants you to answer a question that's outside of your reach. It's strange.
He's LARPing. He's more intelligent than this. He's LARPing. He's LARPing as an idiot. Yeah, you didn't fool me, dude.
Probably.
You didn't fool anybody. You're LARPing to be an idiot, pretending to ask stupid questions. So it's very simple. The sun moves, we see it move, so that's actually what it's doing. When the sun's near you, it's light where you are, and that's daytime. And when it's far away, on the other side of the Earth, the other side of the surface of the Earth, not the other side of a ball, it's on the other side of the surface of the Earth. It's daytime over there, and it's nighttime where you are.
Okay, but because of that knowledge, we would affirm gravity. Yeah.
How?
Because like it
You
doesn't
haven't
have.
even said what gravity is.
It's floating up there. You know, like it's not on top of something,
What are you talking about?
bro.
What is the sun?
Yeah. The sun is a ball. Yeah, that is spinning. Yeah, isn't that what you told me?
Is it? Is that what you
That's
see?
That's
Do you
what
see the sun? Do you see the sun as a ball spinning?
Yeah. That was the claim that you made.
No,
Right?
no.
Okay,
It's
so
not
what?
my claim, bro.
Okay,
I
so
don't claim the sun is a spinning ball, dude.
okay, so the sun is flat and it's spinning, or what's going on?
What does it look like?
Well, it looks like a ball to me.
No, it doesn't.
In what? No, it doesn't. Just stop, dude. Just stop.
Well, yeah, the moon looks like a ball, and the sun.
Then
looks
why,
like a ball.
when they describe the sun in scientific literature, they say the disk of the sun.
Oh.
Or the solar disk. That's how they describe it. They're not saying the sun is a disk. They're saying it looks like a disk. So you're sitting there saying it looks like a ball, which is contrary to all of astronomy.
I guess, yeah. All right, okay. So the disk, yeah, let's work with that. So like,
yeah, that's what it looks like. It doesn't mean that's what it is, but that's what it looks like.
It's called a disc
Okay,
because it's very far away, and that's what it's.
So like,
It's not called a disk. It's very far away. It's a descriptive moniker of the sun. That's all it is.
Descriptive? I see what you did there.
Oh no. Okay, so yeah, is the Earth a disk?
You got a retard friend with you or something?
Well, I'm just wondering. Is the Earth a disk too?
No. I already covered this 2 times already. We're gonna do it the third time, really?
I just want to know the shape. Is it a rectangle? Is it a
Earth doesn't have a shape.
disc?
Earth doesn't have a shape.
Wait, why do you want to know the shape?
Let me ask you. Hold on. Let me ask you. What's the shape of a rock? What shape is a rock? What shape is a rock?
Uh,
Well, rocks don't exist then because you can't tell me what the shape of a rock is. Right?
well,
That's your logic. You're a dummy, dude. Like, I'm almost at the end of this.
well, the rocks come in different sizes and shapes, right?
Really?
Yeah.
So if the Earth was shaped like a rock, well, and you asked me what shape is the Earth, what do I say? Rock shaped?
Earth shaped.
Earth shaped. Yeah, I'll just say Earth shaped. It's Earth shaped. Yeah, in a way, when you thought you were clever, that just fucking crush and burn.
Next question.
Oh, CB's here. You want to do some cooking, CB?
Yeah, I got 30 minutes.
These dudes need to be freaking cooked hard. No mercy.
Bro.
Yeah, Musa needs some cooking. CB.
Bro,
Yeah,
get the air fryers on.
Yeah, I'm kind of hungry. Can you cook up some steak for me or what?
He's already
You
been
are- you are
marinated.
the
Yeah, he's been
already been-
marinated. He's been brushed with butter.
Bro's
He's
about to
ready.
get air fried.
Oh my god, butter! Oh, now I know that you're not white because you guys just use salt and pepper for seasoning.
Okay, W racism, but
I
Yeah,
thought
wait,
it was
does he
say
think
that's racism.
No idea.
does he think the Earth moves?
Musa, that's a question for you. Go for it.
Oh yeah, it moves.
Why? Where? Move where? Where's it moving?
Yeah, it's spinning.
Oh, why do you think that?
Yeah, because I can feel it.
What?
Well, I got 6 cents.
All right, bro. Is he trolling, chat?
no,
Bro,
Yes.
he's just drinking too much.
No
He's
way.
trolling to avoid the cooking session.
Bro, like, do you guys not feel the earth moving? Is it just me?
Hell
Like,
no.
okay,
What?
take a couple shots of whiskey and you can feel it moving.
That's just being drunk, bro.
What, dude,
Yeah,
Iggy was
everything
right.
feels like it spins if you get drunk enough. What the hell?
All right,
I
okay,
feel the
so
same
let's
condition.
let's look at the ocean. Yeah, the ocean. Yeah, it's moving on waves. Like even after a rainy day, it would be flat, but it's still moving, right? So
Yeah, because of wind. Oh my gosh.
What the hell is
Dang.
he talking about?
yeah, but like if the Earth was not moving, everything would be still.
How do you figure?
Wait, if you stand still, is everything still inside your body? I mean, unless you're just fully retarded.
No, yeah, my blood is moving. Yeah, my I'm breathing.
Okay, so next stupid question.
Okay, yo, is it possible to stand still and
Why would
move?
you speak after that? Why would you
Yo,
insult yourself?
wait, hold on. Yeah, let me see how smart you are. Yeah, is it possible to stand still and move at the same time?
I mean, I said next stupid question. You just answered it. So
Okay, but like, do you want to answer the question? Is it possible to stand still and move at the same time?
No, if
is
I'm
it possible?
standing still, I'm standing still. What the hell?
Bro,
It
of course.
possible?
But have you guys never hopped in an elevator before?
Yeah, that would be I'd be in motion then, wouldn't I? It wouldn't
Yeah,
be me being still. It wouldn't be me, in the same place or position on the same axis.
yeah. But
Are you not
so you're
getting that?
standing still and moving at the same time. There we go. Do you feel the elevator moving?
Uh-oh.
So what's your
Cricket.
claim? What's your claim? You live on an elevator?
Oh well, I'm just saying. Like, how do you know the Earth is not moving? Well, when if you hop in an elevator, the elevator is moving and you don't feel it.
Yeah, but you just said that you did feel it. So what's your point?
No, but like I feel the Earth moving, but you said you can't. So if you can't feel the Earth moving, yeah, you're not able to feel yourself inside the elevator moving 20 floors.
So what's your claim? Do we live on an elevator?
Well, how do you know the Earth is not moving?
So what's your claim? Do you claim that we live on an elevator?
No, I'm saying just because you can't feel it, that doesn't mean that it's not moving.
So you're just saying stuff?
What's up,
Sure,
Junior?
I guess.
Why don't you just say less stuff? Then you have less problems.
So you guys had a good weekend or what?
Mine was good.
Oh, that's good. That's good. What did you do?
Oh, I had a birthday party for my daughter. Barbecue it was great.
Oh, nice. I had a barbecue yesterday too.
Nice. We were probably grilling at the same time. It was so hot, like the cheese was melting on the plate before I could even get it onto the burgers, and I had to use that pot holder even to like lift up the handle because it was like 95, 97, something like that.
Oh,
But
and are you in Canada? Because we had a heat warning too. Yeah, you can't breathe.
Michigan, just over the border from Canada, not too far.
Yeah, because I spoke to people in America yesterday, and they said like it wasn't that bad, but like here in Canada, it's insane. As soon as you open the door, you can't breathe. Yeah, I felt like an idiot, but actually starting the barbecue because like even if you put the meat on it, it's still gonna cook it. Yeah, and that there's no need to turn on the fire. You know what I mean? It was that hot.
Well, you still want to have that fire in there, but yeah, the tray
No,
I was
no,
going to
it's
put
not.
them on was all preheated. It was like, yeah, it made it much faster. It's just like, yep, put them in, put them out. Yep.
Fuck you guys.
Dude,
As
this
someone
boy
who
lit. He lit.
He's gone.
no, that's it. Yeah, no, that's fine. Okay, no. So
All right,
see you
I'm
guys
pulling the
later.
I'm pulling the hammer. I'm pulling the hammer. Sorry, chat. I can't do it anymore. I can't fucking do it, bro.
Yeah, that's
Holy.
fine. He's probably still talking and he'll enjoy himself. You know, he'll have his little party with his dog there. So BMan92, where did we leave with your globe belief?
I don't quite remember what we were last talking about. It was quite a while ago.
Well, do you have any questions that have come up since then?
Yeah, sure. I've got a question. So what would you say that the sun is a globe?
No,
Do you think it's a spherical shape?
it doesn't even look like that.
What shape do you think it is?
I don't know. It just doesn't look like spherical.
Okay. Uh, what shape would you say the other planets in the solar system are?
We're not in the solar system.
What are we in?
The Earth.
The Earth is within the solar system, is it not?
No.
Okay, what would you say is the shape
Wait,
of Mars, for instance?
you haven't heard that space is fake, bro? You haven't heard that before?
Look, if you're gonna ask shape questions, they're all gonna be Earth shaped or whatever the thing that you're bringing up shaped. Unless you're gonna
Okay.
talk about actual mathematical shapes like triangles and that.
Wait a
So
minute.
if you
Can we
bring
acknowledge Elijah Savvy's in the panel, guys? Bro, that's a huge W.
who's that?
That's you, Ninja. What do you mean? Can we get some
Unearned.
W's in the chat?
This is unearned distraction time. Can we go back to this Mars shape thing?
No, we need to get some W's in the chat for Elijah, guys, quickly, and then we're gonna go back.
Okay.
All right, now go ahead.
Yeah, he was asking
Okay.
about what shape Mars is. Mars is Mars shape. Next question.
Mars, okay, but that's not a shape. Is it a sphere? Is it a disk? What is it?
What do you?
Well, seeing
What
as
shape
we
is the
have
universe?
no way to determine that, it's just going to be whatever it's called with the word shape attached to it.
We have no way to a telescope?
What's
I'll
the,
think
Telescope's
about
a
that.
binocular.
if I do a telescope of from the bird's eye view of your forehead, right, or your cranium, what's that going to determine about the shape of you?
I'd say very little if you're just looking at my forehead.
Exactly. So without sufficient information, you can't make conclusions. It's called wisdom. We don't answer questions that we can't in good reason answer.
But we can
So no,
clearly see the entire shape.
I don't know what's outside of my knowledge base. Next question.
I don't think we're zooming in a very. We're not. Whenever you
Zoom
say
in.
you're not zooming in and just the
Telescopes don't zoom.
Mars. You're zooming in the entire image of Mars.
Bro thinks the
Telescopes.
sky is an iPhone screen. You can zoom in.
Yeah, the most you can determine is that from your point of view, Mars appears to be circular. That's the
Okay.
most you can determine.
I would say the planets in our solar system are spherical.
Yeah, but you can't tell that objectively because you're looking through a monocular telescope, and even if you had a binocular telescope, you don't have enough parallax to get 3D information.
Yeah, we're not just going to assert things as if it has any value. Ask
So
more
in the
questions.
real world, right? Say you play a sport, right? You have two eyes, you have stereoscopic vision, so you can judge distances because you're looking through two eyes, right? You have parallax shift. So you can guesstimate with other distance cues how far something is away, how big it is, what its form is. You can't do that to the planets. There's no parallax. You're looking through one eye, right? The telescope is one eye. Now close your eye and try to go play basketball or with an eye patch on or football or soccer or whatever. Arr! Like your depth perception is going to be way off. You're not going to be able to tell a lot of things.
Okay. Well, through telescopes, we can see the size and shape of different planets, and along with
The size
distance. Yeah.
in what
He said,
units?
and distance.
And you can't. Okay, so you can't because we see in angles. We don't see in feet and inches and those type of units and absolute units. Say I look at the sun and it's a half a degree. How do I get how big the sun is in miles from that information?
I don't know.
You can't. So this is called the size distance
How would you
problem.
explain different planets and asteroids that orbit different planets?
No one's ever observed the orbit in the no human being has ever observed the orbit ever.
Okay.
Ever. Well, go find a video of an orbit, dude. You won't find one.
Hold on, Andy's in the chat. What's Bruce saying?
Do. L's in the chat.
What? Has orbs what they say? What does he mean by that?
I don't know.
Private
Who are you
chat.
talking about?
He's talking about his dog friend, Andy.
Dog typing.
How do you think they got the distance to the sun that they say it is right now?
No, bro.
Okay. They guessed. I know it's hard to believe that they guessed, but they guessed. And you don't have to believe me. You can go on. There's a website called Bad Astronomy. It's a NASA astronomer. He even says it. They guessed. Because they haven't. Okay. To objectively measure the distance to it through sight, you would need to measure the parallax shift, and you'd have a known measured baseline. And then you can triangulate how far away it is. Unfortunately, for astronomy, none of the planets, the moon, nor the sun, no matter how long your baseline is, will have this parallax shift. That's why they say they're so far away. Because on Earth, everything has a parallax shift, but when you look in the sky, nothing does. But because they have this uniformitarianism philosophy, they say everything must be the same. So if there's no parallax shift, they're just really, really far away.
Okay.
Okay, and then they took this, right? Then they go, Christopher Huygens, he looks at Venus and says, I'm going to guess. He also used numerology and mysticism. And this is the official story. He guessed that Venus was the same size as Earth, with the same radius. And then Venus transits the sun, whereas it, quote unquote, goes in front of the sun. And if you time that, and you, right, so they have a law of like, if Venus is the same size as the sun, and it's in between us and the Earth, then its orbit must be this size. And if its orbit is this size, then we know the size and distance of Venus. So if it takes Venus X amount of time to transit the sun, that means the sun is X big. And if we know if it's X big, we know it's Y far away. So it's a multi-step process. But the thing is, the first step is the radius of the Earth, and then the second step was guess that Venus is the same size as the radius we never measured. It's the whole, I know they teach it another way, but what the devil is in the details. In that whole profession, astronomy, astrophysics, cosmology, they're pseudoscientists. They're just junk.
Okay.
Well, I mean, can astronomy do any type of scientific experiment?
Yep.
Really? What can you give me an example of an astronomy experiment?
Well, there was one done in 1846.
Oh yeah. What was the independent variable, or what was the observed natural phenomenon?
That phenomenon was a little dwarf planet at the very edge of our solar system.
A dwarf planet isn't a phenomenon.
Hold on a second.
It's like saying a cat is a phenomenon.
Let me just get up this
You gotta
experiment.
learn to distinguish between cool stories and science, bro. In any other field, nobody would take this stuff seriously, right? Imagine if your sergeant's packing you off to war and he goes, well, I guess that you got about this many bullets in your rucksack. Go ahead and have fun. You can't. Like, you can't build a car on guesses. You can't build a house on guesses, although people try. You can't do real stuff in the real world on guesses. But when it comes to fictitious, non-existent universes, then yeah, you can guess all you like because it doesn't have any impact. It doesn't matter.
Okay, so you said they observed the dwarf planet. What was the hypothesis?
Wait a second, guys. I'm just getting up my.
Oh, okay.
Hey, Indio, can you observe assumptions? Is that possible?
I don't know. I think you need special glasses.
Or you need to be as drunk as Andy.
Yeah, well, yeah, exactly. Andy, if I ate your liver, how drunk would I be?
If you what?
If I ate his liver.
You'd need a transplant. You know what? Like when they say like they observed anything in this universe that they've created in their heads.
I'm just gonna post this. This is the summary of the experiment.
Okay, hold on. Just take me a second.
I bet they observed the dark side of the moon as well.
What is on there? What is on that side of the moon? I wonder.
Peace.
I want to see.
Oh, it's the same as what's at the end of the rainbow.
And what's that?
A leprechaun.
Well, you go to the end of the rainbow and you tell me.
What do you mean? Sometimes the dark side of the moon is facing the Earth. So that doesn't make sense.
Who told you that?
Well,
Well,
how is this?
it-
How is this science?
it comes in stages, right? So
Oh, it's
when
not
there's a
fine.
full moon,
Yeah, like
the
they didn't.
dark side of the moon's on the other side, and when it's not a full moon, the dark side of the moon's on facing the Earth because it's dark, right? So it's retarded.
No, one side.
No,
of
you're
the moon.
retarded.
Yeah, once we only always ever see one side of the moon. It's always the same side.
Exactly. So if
Yeah.
it was a dark side of the moon was only the back, then we would phases of the moon, would we?
Huh?
Oh my
Dude,
god.
it's Kimbo. It's amazing, isn't it?
This
What?
is why I
It's
said what I
amazing
said
that we
earlier.
understand the globe model better than you guys, which is it's just amazing to me at this point. I mean, I it's predictable, but still amazes me. I'm easily shocked. How is it scientific? This like because this discovery of Neptune actually violated another law called the Titus-Bode law, and it actually falsified the model. So,
Doesn't everything ever falsify their model?
but this isn't really like a scientific experiment anyway.
No,
Discovery of the existence of something. If I find a quarter on the ground, that's not a
Okay,
scientific
but
experiment.
you asked me to prove whether astronomy has ever.
That is that.
What did you ask? Sorry, something about astronomy.
Yes, an experiment.
Yeah,
This isn't an experiment.
Okay, well, yeah, you can argue that it's not an experiment, but they use mathematics to discover something. Is that not right?
No, mathematics is a descriptive tool.
And they also people had saw it before that.
They saw it before that. So what?
Yes, the Chinese recorded seeing Neptune before that or some shit.
Okay, well, what's your proof?
Wait, hold on. Is he shifting burdens like that?
Dude, what are you talking about? You didn't provide any proof. This article abstract you have here has no proof of anything, dude.
Well, it's from a reputable source and is an experiment that actually happened.
How do we determine it's a reputable source? You guys just throw that shit out there. Like, what was the metric that you applied to determine it was a reputable source?
Well, you denying the existence that this experiment took place.
Answer my question.
Well, I got it from there's many sources you could gather this exact same information from. You could get it from the NASA official website. The government.
Which
website.
one did you get it from, sucker?
I got it from National Air and Space Museum.
Okay.
Is that
There
a
you go.
reputable
That was
source?
hard, was it?
How do you know National Air and Space Museum is a reputable source?
Oh well, I hope it is.
Yeah,
but
it is. It is because I said it is because I trust them extra much. They pinky promised they wouldn't lie to me, so I believe them.
Okay. So do you think this never
Hey,
happened?
bro,
Do you think
Indio,
it's
bro.
historical?
No, I didn't say
Indio,
it never
bro.
happened. There was
Indio,
actually
bro.
listen. This is
Indio, bro.
Shut
That video
up,
you
dude.
posted
Shut
the
up. You
other
have
day.
nothing to say.
I don't think. I think you don't know how to respond.
Here,
to
let
this.
me.
Denying the
I'm
existence.
gonna finish what I was saying before that other guy interrupted me. Now you're interrupting me. Okay, there was two guys that claimed they discovered Neptune. This was actually disputed. A French guy and an English guy both said that they discovered it at the same time, and it was a battle of who took priority. Okay, but this observation violated another law, which predicted the orbits of all the other planets, called the Titus-Bode law. So the reason Neptune wasn't discovered is because they were following the mainstream, what they thought was astronomical laws, and then they saw something else, a perturbation, and then they were like, hey, we should go look for this.
I think who discovered it is irrelevant. I'm simply stating you asked me a question about astronomy and I answered it and I gave
It's not an experiment.
Okay, whatever it is, astronomy clearly made calculations to prove the
So what? That's not science.
You can't just hand wave whatever it is when whatever it is the key point to the discussion.
I don't think I'm the one doing the hand waving here.
What I said.
You just did. Experiment is the linchpin of this discussion. So if you're not dealing with an experiment, then you're not providing what was asked for. Do you understand that?
Okay. If you give me one moment, I'm going to do some more research on this, and then I'll get back to you. Okay.
I think your first research
You
should
don't
be
need to do any more research because I could just give it to you why astronomy can't do
I know what I need to
experiments.
do. I'll be back in a minute.
Yeah, talk to Phil some more in your DMs. You think we're
Elijah,
stupid?
were you gonna say the first research you need to do is what an experiment actually is?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, exactly.
Like you should probably research the language you're speaking before that. Goodness sake. You know that you know that guy. I don't know. I wish. Is it Creation Bear? If you have it on your soundboard, if you're still here, oh no, he's gone. But there's a meme out there when the guy's like, I don't think you got the facilities for that. And it's just a clip taking the piss, right? But that applies to nearly everything we were just talking about. The shape of Mars, shape of all of that. You ain't got the facilities, bruv.
All right, who wants to take a bet? Is he going to bring back the Einsteinian gravitational lensing of that one twin star system, or something else?
I don't know. Based on his previous interactions, he's not going to bring anything of any real impact.
Maybe Cavendish.
Which clip?
Yeah, over the fences in what chat? Is it in our chat or is it on YouTube?
Hello, I'm back.
Yeah, Tristan's a rubber duck. He's here, but he's different right now. Oh, who's back? Oh, our man with evidence is back.
Do you know what? Do you know what experiment is yet? Have you worked that one out?
So I'll give you a rundown of the experiment. So,
wait, of what an experiment is, or the supposed claimed assertion of an experiment?
Okay, so Newtonian gravitational theory accurately predicted the existence and location of Neptune based on the observed irregularities in Uranus's orbit. And the successful prediction of Neptune's position by the mathematicians using Newton's laws, followed by its observational discovery, solidified that theory's validity as an empirical science.
So you're trying to confirm.
What? Do you want to rewind?
Just trying to confirm.
Rewind. Say that again.
What do you want me to rewind?
The last two sentences.
Regarded as being wrong. So how did they confirm it?
Prediction of Neptune's position by mathematicians using Newton's laws, followed by its observational.
Okay, we know you're reading something, and we want to respond to it. We already heard you read it the first time. So we're going to respond to it. No one in science currently believes Newton is correct.
How so?
Because the special theory, the general theory of relativity now. That's new hotness.
Okay, that's okay, but what happened, what occurred at this event is they used Newton's laws and they accurately predicted the position of the planet.
Which laws did they use?
Predicted the existence of the planet.
Which Newton's law did they use?
Newtonian gravitational theory.
The universal theory of gravitation. Is that what you're saying? They use the universal theory of gravitation?
Yeah.
Did you realize accuracy
the universal law of gravitation? Well, here's newsflash for you. The universal law of gravitation is not a natural law. It is a geometric law because it's a consequence of elliptical orbits in general. It's a geometric consequence. Now, orbits are predicted using something called a kinematic model. So it's period, right? Right? They note the period that something moves, right? And then they can predict the orbit. So this is how orbital dynamics work. There's no forces. They don't use any forces. Forces would be a dynamic model. Now, they pretend to use forces when they predict planets because of this geometric consequence. Right? So the F equals GM times M1 times M2 over R squared. That's just a consequence of elliptical orbits. if you have a force that points to the foci of an ellipse, that force will fall off inversely proportional to the square of the distance. Now they have the ellipse and they're calculating the ellipse with a kinematic model, but they can pretend that they're using a dynamic model because of the geometric relationship. So they didn't make a prediction based upon forces or phenomenon or anything like that. They used a kinematic model where you have a cycle of repeating events that you can predict the next event, the same way you can predict when the bus will go by your house on it with a bus schedule.
Isn't it all a mute point though? Because it doesn't matter the accuracy.
Yeah, it's an experiment anyway.
Yeah, the predictive model's accuracy is irrelevant to whether you have actually conducted any manipulation on said whatever. Insert topic.
Okay.
That's why you need to understand the words you're using and the meaning of them before you apply them erroneously.
That's fine.
So, just to tell you, experiments determine cause and effect. Not you, Elijah, him, the other guy. So experiments determine the cause and effect relationships of natural phenomenon. They don't predict where the planet's going to be. That's not natural science.
Okay, buddy.
You keep saying, okay, buddy, as if I'm making it up. Dude, you can look this up. Look, I suggest you do this. Fact check everything I say. If you find one factual error, I'll not talk in here for a week.
It'll be very difficult because you speak a lot, man.
Well, we record it so you can go on the live stream, go on YouTube, type in 24/7 Flat Earth Discord. You can listen to it again and again and again to your heart's desire.
No.
You could get cooked over and over. You can relive this nightmare that you're having.
I'm not having a nightmare, man. I'm having a good time.
Sounds like it.
24/7 live stream, you said?
24/7 Flat Earth Discord live stream.
Discord live stream.
If you can't find it, I'll post the link.
Oh my god! Oh shit! I can hear my voice. That's so weird.
Yeah, the one with the red banner down the bottom, one that's live now.
Yep, I see him. Okay, I'll look. I'll definitely look at that later on and get back to you on that. Anyone else like to add anything?
Yeah, I'm driving down the coast now, and boats aren't disappearing over the horizon.
Give it a minute, dude.
No, I can see one container ship, and I just jumped on the port's website, and it is 36 kilometers away. I can see the whole fucking thing. And I am 8 feet off the water's surface.
Hey, BMan, what's your percentage certainty that you live on a globe? What?
Oh, I suppose that's impossible, so 99%, I guess.
Oh, you said 100 and then you changed it to 99?
Yeah, because if you're going by, I guess if you're going by logic, I guess 100% is impossible.
What makes you so sure?
What makes me so sure of what?
Going by logic, 100%. Logic ensures that you can be 100% sure. That's the point of logic.
I ain't stop nitpicking everything I say. I just said 99%, okay?
How did you quantify that?
What?
Fuck, he is drunk.
Wait, you didn't understand the words I said?
Yeah, I don't understand, sorry.
How did you get that number?
I'm very, very sure.
You just make a statement about your own self-confidence. I mean, that's not really a quantifiable statistic.
I'm telling you. You asked me what percent, I put it into percent. What do you want from me?
Well, what would be
the facilities?
Like, what would be?
Are you guys ready to talk now? Because I got muted earlier.
Yeah, hold on, homie.
Strateg is back.
Bro.
Oh, it's her. It's the lady. It's the lady. Okay,
Yeah,
can we talk now? Because I got muted earlier.
Yeah, hold on. BMan.
Who's talking?
Fred, I think. He's on a different mic.
Okay, go ahead, Crit. Your mic is weird.
Yeah, I think I got connection issue. Go ahead.
No, it just sounds weird to me. That's why I didn't recognize you. I'm like, "Ooh, it sounds like Crit, but he sounds far away. Like, you usually got a good mic going on.
He's sounding clear for me.
Well, he just sounds different.
Okay,
Not
well,
bad.
maybe he
I had
does
to
sound.
look
I
to see
agree.
who
He
it
sounds
was.
different. He
Yeah.
does sound different. I agree. B-Man, what makes you so sure that you live on a globe?
Basically, every experiment that's ever been. It's funny because.
Oh, so now we're going back to the beginning. Sorry, I asked.
Oh my god! Can you let me finish? Can you let me
Reset.
finish?
No, go ahead. I'm
Uh,
sorry. Yes, you can finish your sentence. Go for it.
Yeah. So, I think it's quite funny because every quote unquote flat Earth experiment that's ever been done has been disproven by themselves.
That is a bullshit claim. Can you tell us one flat Earth experiment that disproved itself? Just one.
Can you give me a minute to get up?
He's gonna
So
go.
you have to look
yeah,
up
go get it.
to back up the claim you just made, dude. Are you serious?
Go get it from Netflix. Go on.
Just tell us what was done and how it disproved itself. They did this, they did that, they did this other thing. This was the result. That doesn't work on a flat Earth. That confirms the globe. Debunked. It's like you really that simple.
Okay, you guys got me. Okay, I don't remember.
We didn't get you. You made that shit up. You're getting really ridiculous with the making shit up. I don't know why you're doing it. Imagine we believed you, right? And we were like, damn, this dude's right. Let's go back to the globe. Do you really want that? For you to lie to us and us to go back to the globe? You like some weird cultist?
Really care, man. I'm just curious about your guys' thoughts. And
Okay, so
You don't
we
need to make
measure.
things up.
You never asked us why we think the Earth is flat. Not even once.
I did not today, but I did one of the previous times.
And what was the answer?
I'm
Don't remember, do ya? I knew it. Don't even remember. You guys don't. We've talked to some of you guys for 5 years, and you guys can't steal me in a single argument.
guys. I don't think it's fair to make fun of me. I do genuinely have a very bad memory.
No, you didn't listen. So
I did. Okay, I'll ask you now. Why do you believe in a flat Earth?
okay, because it measures flat. If you go out and measure the surface of the Earth, it's not curving. And there's multiple ways you can measure it and come to this conclusion. So you can measure lasers, you can measure radar, you can measure radio waves, you can measure microwaves, you can measure the symmetry of reflections at like the Bolivian salt flats. Because if the surface of the Earth was curved, you'd have a distorted reflection, which you don't. There's lots of ways to figure it out because they give us a number, 3,959 mile radius, and because they have that, we can say, hey, we should observe this. But we don't observe that. What do you think the longest flat Earth laser test is?
You tell me.
It's 25 miles. Right? A laser beamed 25 miles. Okay? How much drop should there be in 25 miles? You don't know. I'll tell you. Thanks for asking. 420 feet. Do you know how much drop was measured? None. Zero.
Oh, hold on. You confused. Hold on, bro. You confused the 36-mile one with the 25.
Huh? No. No, if the laser's level, it's 127 it's 127 meters drop at 40.9 kilometers or something.
Could you repeat that experiment for me? What happened in it?
Okay, they took a laser from 1.92 meters. Do you want metric or imperial?
Metric.
Metric. Okay, so they did this in the Netherlands. There's an inland lake, kind of like ISIL. They took a laser. They measured it at 1.92 meters off the water. They beamed it. Well, the longest one. I'm going to give you the longest one. There were shorter ones, so they they incrementally stepped up to the longest one. And then they went back a couple weeks later and then they did it again. They did the whole series of tests again. So they beamed at 41 kilometers. They measured the laser height at 1.5 meters, but the globe predicts that the laser should be 127 meters off the surface of the Earth because of the curvature. Okay?
It should be what off the Earth?
127 meters over their head.
Okay. And what was it?
They were looking at it.
I just put the Google Doc in the chat.
So observed at 1.5 meters, predicted to be at 127 meters. There's a 2 order of magnitude difference from the prediction to the observation. This it wasn't close. Let's put it that way.
I understand.
Okay, so that's just one of many.
Put it in the
10,000
chat
mile
for you
radio
if you wanna-
transmission in 1918 to Timbo's homeland, right? From Cornwall, United Kingdom to Sydney, Australia. Back then in 1918, there's no satellites, there's no repeaters, there's none of that shit. It only can happen if it's line of sight. A 10,000 mile line of sight.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Now, how that observation would debunk itself and prove a globe is beyond me.
I definitely couldn't tell you, but
Hell's Angels posted the plaque because it was because it was during World War II. They commemorated the event because it was done. The transmission system was done for military purposes, so they have a plaque commemorating the event.
Yeah. Is there any other Globers in the VC right now?
You need backup?
No, I'm just asking.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah,
there's
I'm
Matthew.
always here.
Oh, yeah, there. Oh, look at that. Chiming right in. You're such a good support person.
Nice.
Maywin's here.
Indio, we've had your response, but maybe we can ask someone else why they believe in flat Earth. Who else wants to speak up about it? Anyone?
Yeah, I mean, I think everybody's gonna give you the same answer
See?
there.
They don't.
Just oh, I'm sorry. Did I interrupt someone?
No, I'm lagging.
Oh, okay. Yeah, just that, we see these various transmissions throughout the electromagnetic spectrum that have been made all around the world that would be impossible on a globe of dimensions claimed. That's pretty much what, I don't know. I don't know if anybody's going to have a different answer than that because I don't know if it's just too simple for you guys or what the deal is, why you have to come up with all these other excuses. It's just, there's a faulty mathematical conjecture about the geometry of an alleged sphere, and then you find one counterexample. That's all it takes to disprove a faulty mathematical conjecture, and so we have counterexample after counterexample. The Marconi transmission is one of them, and I'm sure you've heard of other ones. Seen Chicago across Lake Michigan.
Yeah.
So many other ones.
What makes me curious about the flat Earth conspiracy, because if it is real and if it is true, it seems to me, how has there not been any whistleblowers within the government? Because if the conspiracy is true, okay, I know calling it a conspiracy is probably offensive, but let's be real here. For most people, it would be.
Well, if you're going to say it a second time, I mean, I didn't want to interrupt you the first time, but yeah, the globe is the conspiracy, right? Yeah,
Yeah, but if
because
we're
you
going by,
experience the Earth is flat and stationary. So,
would you
but
not
yeah, I
agree
mean,
that?
if you want to
Would
keep
you
going
not
with the
agree?
question, or I could just
Would
answer
you
it.
not agree that the vast majority of people believe in a globe? Like you guys are in the minority. You do know that.
We don't care.
Okay,
Yeah,
that's
believe
completely fair. I
in.
know you
Yeah,
don't care.
believe in is the key phrase there, because your original question that you were starting to ask before you went down this other road was about why weren't there whistleblowers. So there's so many reasons for that. One reason,
Okay,
I mean, the main number one reason, just statistically, is that a large majority of people passing on the globe lie are not conscious that it's a lie. So they don't even know that there's any whistles that need blowing. You know, and there have been some whistleblowers. I mean, we could find some for you. The Apollo one, Gus
Rest in
Grissom
peace,
is
Gus
an
Grissom.
obvious
Yeah.
one, RIP. And, you know, set up as an example
Yeah,
for other
Buzz Aldrin.
potential whistleblowers. Oh, Matthew's got another. Oh, no, that was Flat. I'm sorry. At first I thought it was Matthew saying, telling me about whistleblowers, but now it's Flat Lloyd. That makes way more sense. Oh, yeah, tell them about those people then, Flat.
Well, yeah, I mean, you got like a couple of the astronauts. I mean, for instance, in the side chat, you have that Polish astronaut who, like, just point blank, just says the Earth is flat. I mean, sure, he says it in a different language, but you can go verify it for yourself that what he said, right? So, I mean, already right there, you have an astronaut whistleblower, quote unquote.
Sorry.
Another thing is, I mean, what about all of us kind of blowing the whistle on this, right? I mean, don't get me wrong, we were all believers in the globe at 1.2, and now, yeah, I mean, we could totally be quiet, not worry about it, and be just like, yeah, I know the truth. All right, go about my day. But for us, it's a little bit more important. We have to blow the whistle, right?
Yeah, but
For some of us, we work in some of these technologies, right? I mean, some of us come from satellite manufacturing or design or construction or a lot of other professional things, right? I mean, don't get me wrong, nobody's kind of like just knows everything, right? But, you piece things together in this way, right? For instance, like people at NASA, right? They just believe in the globe and they're decompartmentalized, right? Well, I'm just going to work on the camera of this part, and this guy over here is just going to work on the wing, right? And they think that their sum is this rocket going into space, but they just believe it, right? And the guy who just worked on the camera didn't do anything.
I want to add to this because we have a flat earther in the home server who I used to talk to quite a bit. I haven't seen him in a while. And he used to work at NASA, and he built one of the modules for the ISS. And he's convinced that the module that they're playing in is not the module he made.
Okay. This Polish astronaut that said the Earth is flat. What was his name? Sorry. No response.
I think it was a woman.
I posted a GIF of interview that was taken with him. There's text on the screen where it's translated, and you can see his name in the background. Let me see if I have it here.
Yeah, it's Igor Volk.
Yeah, I find the video. I'm gonna watch it. I'll be back.
Yeah, it's Morislav something.
I'll be back in 5 minutes.
Well, there's two in this case. But yeah, the one you're
It's so
talking about.
funny when they do things like this. It's like if that guy says that the Earth is flat, and what is he going to do? Go, oh yeah, the Earth is flat. Like, is this Igor guy going to change his mind?
It's conditioning.
This guy who's going to have a look at the video, what? Does he know Polish or? I know it's translated, but like he's just going to come back and go, I can't confirm that in Polish. He says what you're saying. He says.
Yeah, I mean, come
I
on.
speak Polish, so I can translate it.
Good. Yeah, if he has a question, you can answer it, I guess. Yeah, I mean, this is the guy who first said he was 100% sure he lived on a globe, even though he has no evidence. Now he's whittled it down to 99. So, yeah, I don't think the Polish astronaut's going to convince him, since he isn't convinced by the actual lack of evidence.
What's the metric for being 99%? Like what? How do you measure that? 99% sure that.
I asked him that.
What are you talking about?
It's how much
yeah,
you
what'd you
love of the
think?
globe.
Yeah, we were just talking about how much you love the globe. What'd you think of the video?
I mean, it's pretty obvious that he's joking.
Divining people's thoughts now as well, yeah.
A little bit of nervous laughter there.
He's joking.
Are you saying he's being sarcastic?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, yeah.
So you speak Polish?
No, I don't, but I can tell by
So how are you detecting sarcasm?
his body language and his expression.
Oh. You
And his tone of voice.
his body language? Really?
Yep. I mean, sarcasm kind of like translates across languages. I mean, it's pretty
Does it?
easy to tell. Yeah.
So if a Chinese dude came up to you and said something sarcastic in Chinese, you could tell he was being sarcastic by his body language?
By his tone of
Come on,
voice.
dude. You're getting absurd.
He's just coping. He doesn't want to let go of his little ball.
Have you heard
right.
Buzz Aldrin talk to the 8-year-old girl where he tells the girl that they didn't go there?
Yes, I've heard that. Yeah, I've seen that video.
Do you have a question about flat Earth?
Flat Earth.
Yeah.
When did you first hear about this belief system?
Yeah, well, I'll tell you what, Sam Pyle, it was back in 2015. You might have been too young, but it became kind of a pop culture thing at that time and I didn't really understand why. Like, I'd seen it on Twitter, I heard people talking about it, flat Earth, there's people who think this. I thought it was a joke. Maybe that's what you think, do you?
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah. I mean, I guess I either thought it was a joke or I thought the people were like willfully just trying to be like super retro vintage, kind of like the Amish, like, oh yeah, we're just going back to a simpler time. That's really what I actually thought, because that's the only explanation I could come up with, because I, had been teaching the globe model and the heliocentric model in general to young people for about over like 15 years at that point. So I assumed that it was all settled science the way they tell you. But then since it was a popular topic and I was in grad school at the time, I was taking this physics class. We were assigned to address certain misconceptions in physics. So we were talking about this just the other day. Like, common ones will have to do with gas laws or like things that you intuitively can't just figure out or people have wrong opinions about, and then how to explain to students what their misconceptions are, kind of like by first drawing out the misconceptions through questioning technique and then correcting and possibly demonstrating. So anyway, that's why I chose to start researching flat Earth, and it was very hard to find good information. Lucky for you, Sam Pyle. Fast forward to 2025, I wouldn't say it's easier to find information, but somehow you found us. This is the place to find out about the objective measurements, the laser tests, the long distance observations that conclusively show that it's an impossibility for us to be living on a ball with a radius of 3,959 miles.
What's under the Earth? It's flat.
Great question. What's under the earth? So a lot of times when people ask that, it's because the things they've seen, like I asked you, did you think it was a joke? So usually what a lot of people have seen, if they haven't come upon empiricists or people who prefer to follow the original scientific method and hold close to classical definitions of science, if you haven't found those people yet, then you might have seen some kind of jokey memes about a disc flying through space with water flying off of it, or a smashed out globe that's just kind of sitting there, hanging there in space with all the other planets. No, that's not what we think at all. We do not agree with outer space fantasy any more than we agree with the globe fantasy. So we just think we live here on the clearly flat and stationary Earth, and we don't know how far down it goes, but we definitely don't think we're flying through space, rotating through space, or doing any kind of other motion, because no motion has ever been detected, no rotation of this land.
What do you mean outer space fantasy?
I mean,
What is?
how do we have
Outer
day and
space.
night then?
Okay, well,
Why does the world gradually shift from day to night? I asked because if you literally looked at a map of how light hits Earth, it basically goes around on a curve. So there's parts where it'll get darker and lighter. It literally looks like a transition over a period of time, and it creates this cyclic fashion, like a sine wave, which would indicate it would be a curved surface.
Why would it indicate that?
The sine wave has, if you look at a sine wave, which in science, it's got equal amplitude and magnitude. So basically, light will hit it in the form of a wave.
So it's a mathematical.
Now, if it was flat, it would have just been one. Now, if Earth was flat, it would have been just pure night or pure day with nothing between.
So it's a mathematical.
How did you test that assumption?
That's unreasonable.
How did you test that assumption?
You still haven't answered my earlier question, though. Why?
So, hey, before we go on, just if anybody noticed, he also debunked the eclipses claim, by the way. If you know why, then you know. If not, I'll tell you later.
You can jump into that now if you want.
Using mathematical constructs doesn't prove a point, though. That's just what I want to throw in there.
Just wondering how bro tested his assumption.
I don't think he realizes he has assumptions, because he said it as if it was a matter of certainty that the distribution of light that he described as a sinusoidal pattern indicates curvature.
Why don't you let him answer it?
Well, I asked him why, and he jumped to unpack.
Heretic asked him a question, and then you answered for him. So why don't you let him answer?
Okay, whoever you are, whatever his name is, I don't know his name. Do you know your assumptions?
That wasn't the question he asked.
It was roughly his question. Silence. So
Are you guys trying to you're trying to refer back to the Dove, Mx.Dove? Is that who you're talking to?
I don't know if the guy's still here.
I mean, the Dove was the one who kind of jumped in on the other conversation, Sandpile. Now Sandpile's gone. Yeah, that was the Dove.
Okay, well, if they're not responding, Indio, you want to talk about the eclipse thing you mentioned?
That was AI.
Well,
Oh, was it? My bad. Better me.
Yeah, all New Englanders sound alike. Anyway, yeah. So we said if you have a sinusoid pattern from light or a shadow being cast on a ball, it must be a sinusoid because that's the shape it's going to take if it's a ball. Well, then how come the shadow from the alleged eclipse doesn't take the shape of a sinusoid when it's a ball and a ball? So I guess he screwed himself because now he can't have eclipses.
Well, that's one of the things they often come into problems with, because they don't realize that one claim contradicts or whatever the other claims, and they have multiple claims, and then they have like patchworks for those claims and more patchworks for the patchworks, and it's just never ending nonsense.
Yeah, and one of those patchworks is using the Haversine. When you use that it turns it into a mathematical construct of a sphere, and you're taking all your calculations based upon that. But in reality, as we said so many times, that is not what we are observing or even able to calculate. There is no drop over distance. Just because you add a Haversine and then you can calculate it to be doing so, that's actually not what is being done, though, in reality. Now, I get it that mathematically you can do that. It's a construct. And you're just going to sit on this hill and die on it if you want. That's fair, pun intended, because it's a hill that you think you're living on. in all directions from your position. You are on the top of the Earth globe ball sphere in your position, and everywhere you look in all directions, you have to add the Hyver sign to calculate that curvature away from you. But it's just a mathematical construct. It's not reality. And that's kind of the point. It's not reality.
I think one of the issues in terms of the bigger picture and why it's such a hard topic to deal with when they come across, even the ones that are like less unreasonable, right, and just have better attitudes, is because it's a symptom. This mindset or this concept, or agreeing to the concept, whatever you want to call it, is a symptom of not knowing how to think properly. And it's weird because they don't apply it in every aspect of their life. Because if they went out into the woods and, I don't know, wanted to do a fire or whatever, they wouldn't build a fire based on assumptions. They wouldn't go foraging for berries or hunting deer based on assumptions. But they want to tell you about how the world works based on assumptions, like the big picture.
Yeah. I wonder if BMan has any comments about that now that he's on Devon, because to be like 99 or 100% sure that you live on a globe when it is based on assumptions. I mean, you have to admit you're based that on what other people have told you, not on your own experience. Does that not worry you that your entire worldview is based on assumptions and stories that other people have told you and not on your own experience? BMan92?
I wasn't even listening. I just was reading shit. What do you want?
I want to know how you can be 99% sure about something that is not based on your own experience. It's based on other people's stories.
Yeah, no, it's based on my own experience.
When did you experience the globe? When did you measure curvature? When did you experience rotation? When did you ever see a globe? When did you see a sphere?
Well, I went down to my local harbor, down at Port Rush, and I saw a boat leave the horizon, and there we go.
Oh my goodness, that
told
is
you I
so
was-
unclear.
I just told you I was driving past the port.
What else do you want me to
It didn't happen.
Go ahead, Timbo. Go ahead, Timbo. I mean, leaving the horizon, I need to know how that happens. But what were you going to say,
Yeah.
Timbo?
No, I was just going to say, I told him before that I just drove past and parked on the side of the road, and I told him that boats weren't disappearing over the horizon. So do they sometimes disappear over the horizon, or is it all the time? Is it a physical place? What's going on?
We clearly had different experiences, because I wouldn't be saying this if it didn't happen to me. I saw the hull disappear before the seals, and that's just what happened to me. I'm not gonna.
Let me ask you this: Can
what
that
distance?
observation happen on a flat surface?
Sorry.
Can that observation that you seen where the boat appeared? I don't know exactly what you said. Why don't you describe what you saw to us? How long did you watch the boat?
Not very long. It was already quite.
Not very long. Really?
Yeah.
I mean, moving fast.
Again, it was already quite far away.
What kind of boat was it?
I don't know, like a yacht, I guess.
A yacht?
Now you're making shit up again.
Yes, exactly. So these questions always reveal the truth, because you can't even describe what you saw. Do you know how fast a boat would have to move to go over the horizon that fast? How much curve do you think there is? How fast do you think a boat goes?
I'm telling you, it was very far away whenever I was looking at it.
That's so you couldn't see it, but it went over the horizon. Is that what you're telling us?
I just saw it gradually disappear over the horizon. I was watching it.
With your eye.
So I'm trying to get. Hold on, man. So we're gonna get to the brass tacks here, okay? The horizon's a set distance away, right? To drop like 24 feet, say it starts disappearing at 6 miles, to drop like another 24 feet, it has to go like 2 miles.
Yeah.
Okay, how fast does a boat go? How long is it going to take them to go 2 miles?
I don't know, man. I don't know how fast the boat goes.
Say it again.
I don't know how fast the boat goes.
Well, that's why I'm asking you how long it took to watch it.
Man,
You don't remember because you never did it, dude. This never happened.
You're saying that my own real life experience didn't happen.
You didn't have this experience. I'm saying you're lying.
I'm lying. Okay, man.
Yeah, you're lying.
That's based on nothing. I'm telling you, I sat there and I.
You can barely see it. How high were you above the sea surface?
High, not very high. I was at the
See how
harbor.
like all your answers are very vague.
My answers are vague. I was at near the water.
Okay, where on earth were you? How about that?
Where on earth?
Yeah, like what beach? What fucking part of the ocean?
He has to repeat the question, so he needs to think.
Yep. Telltale sign.
I didn't hear you.
Okay, where on earth were you?
Portrush in Northern Ireland.
In Northern Ireland.
Yes.
Okay, so you watched a boat sail away in Northern Ireland from an unknown height at an unknown distance at an unknown rate during an unknown interval of time. Let's go with that.
It was sometime during the day, and I was at the very edge of the harbor. And if you've been there, that's very close to the water.
So you saw a boat inside your vision, and then it left your vision. What does that determine?
The curvature of the earth.
No.
Hell.
You saw a boat within your vision, within the limit of your vision, and then it left the limit of your vision. That's the only thing that you actually know for certain. Nothing else.
Yeah, and you also said it's very. This is what I'm trying to figure. Like, how much detail could he make out? And if I know how high he was, we can say, okay, the horizon should be X far away. So we can determine, like, you know, based upon normal human vision, how much detail he could actually make out.
Okay, well, I guess I was maybe like 5 meters above the surface of the water.
5 meters. So what? How many feet is that? That's probably 20 feet, 30 feet.
No, I wasn't on the beach platter.
How high were you above sea level? Any clue?
3 times 5.
Are you from
about 18.
It
About
doesn't
18.
matter. There's only one formula for the horizon. 1.22 miles times the square root of the observer's height in feet.
It's about 18 feet. 18 to 20 feet.
18 feet, okay.
It's 15 feet and 15 inches.
There you go.
Okay, so how far is the horizon away from that height? Oh, I know because I did that. It's 6 miles.
6 miles, yeah.
And when I did that, from 15 feet above sea level, I watched the ship sail to 30 miles away and never go over the horizon. Why did I see what I saw and you saw what you saw? That's what I'm wondering. But really, the elephant in the room is this. Is that observation of something appear to, like, quote unquote, go over the horizon and be cut off bottom first? That happens on a flat surface. So no, you didn't observe a globe.
On a flat surface.
Yeah, it happens on a flat surface.
Hi.
Doesn't matter why. It happens. You know how we know it happens? Is because we did the tests.
I'm sure, buddy.
So we've done the test and demonstrated this happens. We don't even need to know why. All we know, this surface was flat. We eliminated curvature as a variable, and we get the same visual effect.
Yeah, tell me about it.
Okay, so there's a lake, 1,000 feet long. So the lake is 1,000 feet long. Got that part?
Yep.
Okay, so Platter's actually posting it. Or no, I don't know what Platter's posting. Never mind. So the lake's 1,000 feet long. They take like an RC boat that's 8 inches high, and they sail it into the lake. And the camera's 1.5 inches high. The little boat disappears bottom first, just like you said you observed the sea.
Did you say that?
But the thing is, here's the kicker. That lake that from that eye height, the horizon supposed to be 2,400 feet from the camera. So how is the boat disappearing behind the horizon it can't reach?
Did you say they used a laser to do this measurement?
No, I said that no. It's just an observation of the visual effect. It's a qualitative observation. It's not quantitative. The only thing that's quantified is the size of the lake and the camera height.
Yeah, tell me about it.
Okay, so there's a lake, 1,000 feet long. So the lake is 1,000 feet long. Got that part?
Nope.
Okay, so Platter's actually posting it. Or no, I don't know what Platter's posting. Never mind. So the lake's 1,000 feet long. They take like an RC boat that's 8 inches high, and they sail it into the lake. And the camera's 1.5 inches high. The little boat disappears bottom first, just like you would. That's like you said you observed the sea.
Did you say they
But
used
the thing is, here's the kicker. That lake, that from that eye height, the horizon supposed to be 2,400 feet from the camera. So how is the boat disappearing behind the horizon it can't reach?
Did you say they used a laser to do this measurement?
No, I said that no. It's just an observation of the visual effect. It's a qualitative observation. It's not quantitative. The only thing that's quantified is the size of the lake and the camera height. So from a 1.5 inch camera height, the Gold Earth model predicts horizon 2,400 miles from the camera. This lake is 1,000 feet long. It should never disappear. According to you guys, you should see all the way to the other shore. There should be no horizon at all. Yeah, Platter posted in the chat. One of them. There's a bunch of these observations. This has been done in freaking hallways and all sorts of shit. So,
In other words, it's a visual phenomena that you observe. Nothing more, nothing less.
that's all it is.
Now let me watch this video. Hold on.
You're a robot and brother. Hard.
The robot's taken over. He's lost control.
Poopy.
I heard poopy.
What? The one nonsensical word comes through clearly. Wait,
I guess
Elbow.
it's a poopy mic.
Elbow's in the chat. Elbow, when did you turn into a frog? What happened?
The key thing here is that you didn't see a globe, you didn't experience a globe. You just thought, hey, if I see this, that means it's a globe. You had a concept in your mind, your concept was wrong, and then you turned the explanation into the description of the visual phenomenon. Okay, you didn't see a globe, you didn't see curve, you interpreted something you saw as curve. That was an interpretation.
Yeah, because when I first asked you where you saw the sphere, that was your answer, but you didn't really see. That's not really what you saw. You just saw a boat.
When have you seen
Tell me you have assumptions without telling me you have assumptions.
I guess you could say you're making assumptions about his flat Earth, but okay.
No, we observe it that way. What's to assume?
I look at something, so that must make it real.
Look,
Hey,
so if I look at it and I see it's flat, is that evidence it's curved?
It's definitely not flat, I'll tell you that.
Okay, is it evidence it's curved?
That's a very broad question you're asking. Like, what do you
No,
mean?
I'm just saying on first impression, right? You look at it, you see it's flat. That's evidence that it's flat. It's not evidence that it's curved. Saying I'm assuming something, the assumption is, Mom, like I can't perceive reality correctly. There's something wrong with me, or I'm an ant on a fucking beach ball, and even though it looks flat, it's curved. That's an assumption.
Hey, Indio, just real quick.
What's up, man?
Do you know about the event that happened back in 2023 when the Houthi militants launched a range of cruise missiles and drones to hit the USS Carney? This was back in October of 2023.
Yeah,
The reason
vaguely I remember.
the reason why I bring it up is because they had a drone that was 10 foot above the surface of the water, and the Aegis system, which is line of sight, picked it up 200 miles away. So the destroyer was able to target those drones that were coming towards USS Carney. This is back in October 19, 2023. You guys can look it up. And they were successfully able to shoot it down. But the point here is that how do you pick up something 10 feet above the surface of the ocean with line of sight from 200 miles away? And that is a slam dunk. It's not a globe. Water's not curving away, basket right there, bro. Like, I don't know
I
why
think a
Glovers.
200-mile away horizon is like I think you'd have to be at like I'm guessing probably like 18,000 feet.
Yeah, but the destroyer picked it
An
up.
18,000-foot destroyer, buddy. Like they had a telescopic antenna, fucking radar that like went way. It was long, dude. It was long.
You're being too generous. You're being too generous with these guys. You're giving them too much rope to hang themselves. I'm just saying, let the Globers look it up, dude. Like Lockheed Martin, they have this Aegis, system to where there's 200 nautical miles away, line of sight. They can see targets coming in on their radar. And if they're going to say that, and remember, line of sight, 200 miles, nautical miles. Like, come on, guys. Like, if you're a Glober listening to this and you still want to believe in that, like, I don't know what to tell you, bro. Like, the Easter Bunny's not real, guys. Like, it's time to wake up, dude. Come on. And that's a known fact. That was an actual event that happened. Look it up, October 19, 2023. USS Carney. And the Houthis, they're the militants. They sent these drones to bomb one of our carriers. Just look it up, guys. It's facts.
Okay, guys. I'm gonna head to bed now. It's pretty late for me, so.
Oh, is that B-Man saying goodnight? Oh, BMan92. Yeah, well, you've been a good sport. You've been around here a while, so we've had some good chats, so I hope you sleep well. Come back another time.
Thanks for the conversation, guys.
Working for your nightmare. So this is on the same lake with a different video with a different RC boat. So they've replicated this probably like 20 times. Other people have replicated it in different ways, indoors, outdoors. So, like, the key thing to remember, the image I just posted, there should be no horizon at all. This horizon should be no horizon according to the globe at all. So the key question is, why is there a horizon at all? And the answer is, the horizon is not the physical edge of a ball. It's an optical effect created by a combination of things like meteorological effects, the angular resolution of the eye, limits of vision, right? Because the horizon moves around, any globe will admit it, the horizon moves around, it's not in one place.
Yep, that's a good bedtime story for him.
He ain't going to sleep, dude. He's going right on ChatGPT, debunk these flat earthers, man. I can't take this.
That's
going to come back in with Neptune, or whatever the planet.
Whatever it is. I posted a link, by the way, for those that were interested in the, I'm just not speaking out the side of my neck, bro. Like, this is facts.
Yeah, I
It's
remember it
documented.
happening. I remember. I didn't know the details, but I remember it happening.
Yeah.
Well,
yeah.
Not personally, just I remember the story.
Yeah, I posted a link for it. It's from Navy. The Navy, literally, it was a news press because they matter of fact, they were bragging about it. They were showcasing the technology we had to where they thought they can, just because they were flying below the radar. Nah, bro, our fucking destroyer picked it up 200 fucking nautical miles away and was able to fucking intercept it before it hit USS Carney. It's a beautiful fucking thing. It's fucking perfect proof that the Earth is not a fucking globe, dude. Hands down.
Perfect.
Hi there. I'm one of the newbies.
Kelbo, was that you?
Yes,
Oh, okay, welcome. How are you?
I'm good. I'd like to add to his conversation. I mean, the Army did also release that they are using satellites to target beyond line of sight as well.
I'm not going to disagree with you. You're right. There is a network that does work with that, but in this particular case, the Aegis system was line of sight on this particular event. They weren't having to rely on satellites and planes in the sky triangulating its position. No, this is just from the radars on the destroyer itself, which is a line of sight instrument. So I get what you're saying, and I agree. You're right. There are instances where they do that. They do have this network to where they can, calculate an enemy in a far off, distance using the radar and triangulating it. Yes, you're right. But in this case, no, bro. It was line of sight, and they bragged about it, and in the news article by the Navy themselves. And it's the link I posted. Like, if you want to say that isn't, correct, well, then maybe you're fighting that Santa Claus is real because the cookies were eaten and the milk was drank, and you saw footsteps of snow on the floor and by the chimney. That's all I'm saying, bro. Like, you have to come to grips of reality at this point.
Actually, I want to add something. They are using this kind of airplanes.
Dude, the story says the XO flat out told them what the situation was. It's like, but XO, I can't see it because of the curvature of the Earth. And what's that? What's that on your screen? No, that's a phantom. That's a phantom dot. The curvature of the Earth. There's no way. Oh my
Yo, check
God!
this.
Whoever wrote that piece, I want to slap them to death, dude. Like, Jesus Christ!
Check out this. It's a spec for a radar system. So it's low altitude, sea surface target detection, providing target azimuth and distance data to naval gun weapon systems, as well as providing target data to ASM. In the system specs, it says range is 75 kilometers for a craft of 2 meters cubed, I think, is what that says. And then 12 kilometers for a craft or an object of 0.1 meters cubed.
How high do you think it's mounted?
Well, you can see in the picture.
Right?
Okay,
That's
if you
what we
know
should
that
be
the Earth is
talking
flat,
about. Do you disagree with what I just said?
yes.
Okay, what would prove to you, what is your proof that what I'm saying is wrong?
Well, when I'm sitting in this chair at 2 a.m. and it's a dark sky,
and watching Valorant, which is just a game that's happening in Toronto, Canada.
Yeah.
And it's 12 p.m. there.
Yep.
And they're midday, and they're all hot and sweating, and I'm in freezing cold. So the sun's obviously up there on a different side, completely different side.
Why does it have to be a completely different side?
Yeah,
What are
and
you
that's
saying?
not obvious.
Because I can't see the sun,
That's
and they can see
not
the sun.
obvious, brother. That's not obvious.
You actually
You're
have
looking
to
up
ask
at the
yourself.
sky.
Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
So,
well, explain. Oh, you go.
Well,
Sorry.
let me bust it down for you. Real simple. Does light propagate forever through the air?
Pardon?
Does light propagate forever in distance through air?
I would like to say yes.
The answer is negative. Not even close to forever. If you look up your local weather forecast, you'll have a visibility, and that visibility is usually limited from 10 to 20 miles. So, the sun is, you can look directly at the sun when it's on the horizon, right?
Yeah.
Can you look at it at noon?
Yeah.
And then what? Go blind?
Probably.
Yeah, but you won't go blind if you look at it on the horizon, right?
Probably.
No, you won't, dude. Because the sun is 12,000 times less bright or 23,000 times less bright at the horizon than straight above your head. That means the air absorbs light. So when the sun moves, as we see it do, when it moves away, it gets darker and darker and darker until the air absorbs all the light from the sun and it gets dark and it's nighttime.
Okay.
Okay, so it's not obvious that's on the other side of a ball. Okay, you just don't understand how light propagates through the air.
So it is clearly disappearing from the bottom up.
What is the sun's movements across the Earth, in your opinion?
Not just fading away; it's disappearing from the bottom up. You need to explain that part.
Okay, that's not a 100% observation, dude. The sun sets in all sorts of different ways.
It doesn't always go down.
No, it doesn't go down.
I swear it goes down, dude.
Okay, so if you had a very long hall, does the ceiling come down?
Yeah.
It gets
well, if
lower.
the Earth is round, it does.
Does it physically get lower? Or does it visually get lower? Yeah, the answer is just visual. So the sun visually gets lower because it's going further away, and due to the laws of perspective, it gets lower in your vision. But it's not physically going down.
Okay, so you think the sun travels in a completely horizontal line?
Well,
and it
I
just
don't
gets
know
far
that.
enough away that we just can't
I
see
don't
it
know
anymore.
that. There's issues with the sun observationally. Even within the globe paradigm, you've never seen a sunset, and nobody has in the globe model. The sun in the globe model, the sun, you're looking at an apparent position, and I'm not talking about the speed of light. In the globe model, the sun has a refracted apparent position, so air is bending the light so that you don't see the sun in its true position. So when you see a sunset in the globe model, the sun is already over the horizon. You can just check this out if you do sun calc and move the slider until it's sunset. The sun will have a negative angle.
Yeah, but you know why that is?
I just told you.
Because light takes 8 minutes to reach the Earth.
No, I
and the
said
sun
not
travels
the speed
so
of
far
light.
in 8 minutes.
It's not the speed of light. It's not what that's a different thing. They say that the light is refracted, bent around the Earth.
Okay.
So when the sun is physically below the geometric horizon, the light of the sun is bent through the atmosphere around the Earth, and you're seeing the sun in a lifted up position, in an apparent position, not its true position.
No, because
the point is, there are problems with the sun as in positioning it. Okay, so if you want to position the sun and you got 2 observers, 3 observers, 4 observers, and you try to like triangulate its position in 3D space, you can't do it. It's impossible. Literally impossible. That's why they don't use a globe model to predict where the sun is. They use something called the equation of time. So you probably think, the sunrise? They use a globe to predict that. Sunset? They use a globe to predict that. When it's noon, solar noon, they use a globe to predict. They don't use a globe to predict any of that. And you can check. It's called the equation of time. You can look yourself. You can look at the formulas. There's no globe in those maths. So the point is, though, the question was, how is it day and night on a flat Earth? The sun moves, not the Earth. When the light source moves away, it gets dark.
So
Hey,
hang on.
Can a light in your ceiling affect the shape of the floor?
What the fuck is the moon then?
Nobody knows that.
Was my question not that difficult to answer?
Yeah, apparently.
The moon is a spheroid.
Yeah, how do you know that?
Well, when you literally look at it, you can actually see the curvature of it's a sphere. You can see it.
Okay, you see a circle. You don't see a sphere.
I see a sphere, actually.
No, that's called pareidolia. You probably also see Jesus Christ in burnt toast.
I know, literally looks like a ball in the sky to me. It looks like a spheroid.
Okay.
Yeah, when you look
don't
into
have
people...
like just 1 second, Elijah. I'll be quick. So you don't have any 3D information because of the lack of parallax, right? You have no distance cues. The reason, like terrestrially, you have stereoscopic vision, right? And you can tell how far away something is. But when it's far enough away, you have no parallax and you have no 3D information. Okay? So it just looks like a circle. That's objectively true. This isn't my opinion. This is a fact of geometry. You have no parallax, and your stereoscopic vision don't do shit.
Considering when it's partially illuminated, you can actually see curves around it. When the sun partially blocks the moon, you can actually see the curvature that goes around it.
The sun partially blocks the moon?
This is a whole new theory.
When the moon is out at night, and when the sun is still out and stuff, you can still see the curvature of the moon. You can see the edges around it, which would clearly indicate it's a spheroid.
Yeah. Okay. What is indicating it's a spheroid?
When you see a crescent moon, that would indicate that it's a spheroid. You can actually
In what way?
You can actually see it make a solid curve around it as if it was a spheroid.
Okay, sometimes that's a straight line though, so right.
Also, when you look at all the moon phases, when you put them together, they create a spheroid.
Yeah, if you saw a photo of an orange, are you seeing a sphere or are you seeing a flat surface?
They don't like answering you, Elijah. Your questions are tough, man. You're fucking tough.
Have I got superpowers? What's going on?
No, it's just that I literally just proved my point. Like, you literally look at all the moon phases, and we look at all the moon phases, they complete a spheroid shape.
Yeah. You're making that up.
How do you think a straight line works exactly?
That's because you're making it subjective.
Have you ever watched the moon?
Brother,
you're making a crescent. Have you ever seen the moon during a crescent, a winding crescent, a gibbous, and a waxing gibbous, and a full and a new moon? It literally creates a sphere.
It doesn't, dude. Okay.
Yeah, India. This is like.
You ever light an object?
Are you almost done speaking? Can I answer anything that you said, or are you gonna just keep talking?
Anyways,
okay.
You've
Yeah, can I address any of that, or are you just going to keep making fucking baseless assertions based upon subjective opinions?
have you ever loaded a 3D object?
So you're going to just keep talking? Great.
I mean, I'm just proving my point that like
No, you're not. You're not letting me to respond to it. Are you
Okay,
going to let
go
me
ahead.
respond yet?
Go ahead.
Okay. So if the moon's a sphere, where's the specular highlight? So spheres always have a hot spot, like a specular highlight. Where's that?
Yes, that's
Yeah, where is
usually
it?
on the more mineral dense parts of the moon where there's more minerals. Usually,
You know what a specular highlight is, right? Specular
yes,
reflection.
I know what it is.
Okay.
And the parts that where there's more,
and you're saying that the moon has a specular reflection. That's what you're saying.
it does a very faint one, but
Show us.
just literally watch the moon. On a new moon, you can actually see it very clearly.
Yo, India, I think he's the guy who lost all the fights and then went and stood on the podium and claimed victory.
I mean, can you use your eyes or no?
I asked you to use your eyes earlier, and all I got was silence.
Because you're clearly, like I just gave you a basic premise. Do you have eyes? Can you actually like see things, or because obviously if you're blind,
Blind, you can't forgive you if you're blind. Yeah, if you're blind, then like, damn.
Yeah, you can't see the moon. If you're blind,
like that makes sense.
That makes sense.
But I take it you're not, right? You're not blind.
I mean, if he's not blind literally,
silence.
Then figuratively he must be.
Yeah, silence. There it is. There's everybody.
Also, how do I post a video on the side chat? I could show the different the spheroid nature of the moons. 1 second.
Oh yeah.
Seems to me that like it looks like the moon's a spheroid. You could get a similar effect by just having a direct light and a 3D graphics renderer and just having it rotate in a circular fashion around a spheroid. So it appears to me that it's a spheroid.
I don't think you know how your body works.
I mean, you can't necessarily trust your body fully.
Definitely not your senses.
Exactly.
That has no relevance to what I said.
Oh yeah. Yeah, what's the argument for that?
You just
what's
said
the
you
argument for that?
trust your,
That's not
said about
relevant. Go
using
ahead.
how you feel your body, and I'm saying you can't really trust your senses technically, and that's your body. So
Yeah, give an argument for why it's not relevant.
Because he's displaying conclusions from images as if that proves anything. But
I've seen the moon many times, and I can tell you, it definitely looks like a spheroid to me, and it lights like a spheroid does.
Yeah, that's not an argument, though. Looking like a spheroid to me, okay, you look like a pigeon.
I mean, are you blind?
Well, it's the same. Well, no, to be honest, it's the same thing that you guys say. It looks like it's flat to me. So, I mean, how is it different?
You think the moon looks flat?
definitely not your senses.
Exactly.
That has no relevance to what I said.
Oh yeah. Yeah, what's the argument for that?
You just
What's
said
the
you couldn't
argument for that?
trust your.
That's
You
not
said about
relevant. Go
using
ahead.
like you know how you feel your body, and I'm like I'm saying you can't really trust your senses technically, and that's your body. So
Yeah, give an argument for why it's not relevant.
Because he's displaying conclusions from images, as if that proves anything. But
I've seen the moon many times, and I can tell you, it definitely looks like a spheroid to me, and it lights like a spheroid does.
Yeah, that's not an argument, though. Looking like a spheroid to me, okay, you look like a pigeon.
I mean, are you blind?
Well, it's the same. Well, no. To be honest, it's the same thing that you guys say. It looks like it's flat to me. So, I mean, how is it different?
You think the moon looks flat?
Oh no, never mind.
Yeah, you're a fucking. I don't know who you are, but like, I wanna.
Well, I wanted to
I
argue
wanna
about
listen in, man.
I wanted
Yeah,
to
we're talking
argue
about the
about
moon, man.
black swan, actually.
Yeah, we're talking about the moon. No, we're talking about the reflection on the moon.
Okay.
Is this topic still going on?
Okay, yeah, let's just try to stick to one question at a time.
Is this topic still going on? Do we still have flat earthers?
Yes, and we always will. And there's more every day.
Wonderful.
The globe earthers are the ones who are in decline. And we'll eventually have to accept that the globe is no more.
I mean, if that was true,
It's just rage bait. It's just rage bait.
Yeah, it's rage bait.
Well, you'd have to
That's not an argument. That's not an argument.
You'd have to have more than two like discords that have like 30 people in it to like have that actually be true.
It's inevitable that the second coming of Hitler will come, and you'll all be part of the Nazi regime.
All right. Does anybody have an actual question? Does anyone have an actual question?
Okay, I have a question. Okay, so people, I've heard this a lot, and I don't know if I'm getting this wrong, but after 3 miles, people say you can't see anything beyond that. Is that what people in here think, that you can't see anything beyond 3 miles if you're 6 foot tall?
I've never heard anyone say that. I don't think.
Well, I've heard a couple of people say that, but that's why I'm asking. I'm just asking because I mean, like in reality, you got to think of someone 3 miles. So you got like you got 6 miles, and there's an apex. There's a hump apex in the middle at 3 miles, and then at that apex, there's another 3 miles, and then it gradually, like my ankles will disappear, and then my calves will disappear, and then go all the way to my head, and I'll be 3 miles away after that. That people think that, right?
But you're not supposed to be able to see further than 3 miles if you're 6 feet tall. We're not saying that that's the case. We're saying that's supposed to be the case if the Earth were, in fact, a ball with a radius of 3,959 miles.
No. That's not the way. Like it would be like someone walking away, and then you see them walking down a hill, and you'd see their foot disappear, and then their calves disappear, and then their knees disappear, and then at 6 miles you see the tip of their head. Just the same way as you'd see like 3 miles going like, so the tip of my head would be at the apex of the 3 miles. That's what we're saying. If you're 6 feet tall, you can see like at
Wait, why are you asking what people are saying?
Now let's simplify it, buddy. Let's simplify it. Bring it to horizon. How far away is the horizon supposed to be?
4 people talking at once.
I'm not
There's
a
4
flat
people talking.
earther. However, your argument sounds retarded.
How does it sound retarded? It would be like walking up a hill 3 miles and then walking down a hill 3 miles.
About skills. You're talking about skills.
Well, I didn't say fucking anything. I didn't call anyone names.
Let's simplify it. Let's talk about how far the horizon is supposed to be at certain distances.
At 3 miles. 3 miles. If you're 6 foot, 3 miles.
Let's go further than that. How far is the horizon supposed to be at 10 miles?
I'd have to be 8 feet tall, I guess.
No. Let's say 1 foot observer height. Let's say you're laying down and on the beach, and you're looking over the water, and your head is 1 foot above the ocean. So at 1 foot observer height, how far is the horizon supposed to be? Start by figuring
I'm
that
not
out.
talking about 1 foot. I'm talking about 3 foot. Why are you bringing in 1
Yeah,
foot?
I know, but if we talk about 1 foot, then that means that the horizon's supposed to be closer and it's easier to falsify.
Oh, well, no. The further away you go, the more the atmospheric, like the heat. If you make the measurement in the middle of the day where the sun's baking down, you're not going to be able to. It's going to be not the same. God damn, my dog's barking. God, son of a what? Oh, geez, there's a wild gerbil outside.
Won't work, Dub. I'll ban you. That's your only warning. That's your last fucking warning.
I'll let
Keep it up.
continue from here.
Yeah, so it's pro-science because we acknowledge that empirical science uses the scientific method where you make a natural observation, develop a hypothesis, a testable hypothesis with an independent, dependent variable, perform rigorous trials, and your hypothesis and your results have to be testable, repeatable, and verifiable. The globe doesn't fit any of those criteria, and the curvature is just more of a mathematical question about the geometry of a sphere. So we're pro-science, we're pro-math here, in case you're wondering.
But the thing is, though, if you're disproving, if you're saying the Earth is flat, even though the Earth has been proven to be round, it's going against what science says, which would make it.
Show us where it's been proven to be round.
Yeah. Hold on. We're going to go one better. We're going to go one better, Doug. If it's proven, you'll be able to put it in a logical syllogism. So let's have it.
Okay, well, ever looked at a boat over the horizon?
No, that's not a logical syllogism. We want premise.
You ever
one,
watch a
premise
boat?
two.
You ever watch
Yeah,
a container ship go over the sea and stuff? It literally doesn't fall off the edge of the.
Yeah, nobody thinks there's an edge. So why do you keep saying that?
I mean, have you ever seen a boat fall off the edge of the Earth before?
No,
Oh my God.
Sorry, Indio. So you're bricked, dude.
You need to make an affirmative statement, right? Your conclusion must be in the positive. When you're forming a logical syllogism, you're not going to be going, well, not this and not that and that. You need to be making a positive, affirmative conclusion from your true statements.
Okay, well, I've been in a plane at 33,000 feet, and I can tell you, from the view I've seen, it looks like the Earth is curved. It creates a very spherical. I see a very clear spherical shape of the Earth at 33,000 feet.
How did you know you're at 33,000 feet, though?
That's that is literally what an altimeter will say.
That was nice knowing you.
What?
Oh, people that like it banned. You didn't figure that out? You're getting banned because you Googled, can you see a curve of the Earth from an airplane, and it told you 33,000 feet, and you tried to say that's what you saw when you had no way to tell how high you were in the first place? You're a liar. Bye.
It's called an altimeter.
Yeah, you didn't have one.
Did you?
It's called an altimeter. You don't know what an altimeter is?
Where'd you get one? Where'd you get one?
They're literally on board of a plane.
In the cockpit? Is that where you were?
Where else could it be? Where else could it be?
So you were in the cockpit? So you're in the cockpit flying at 30,000 feet. You're going to keep digging? Keep digging, bro.
I'm saying that you're literally...
Keep digging, man. Keep digging.
You ever been in a plane before?
Yes.
Yeah.
Then you should know that planes have altimeters.
Yeah, I do know that. And I know they're not access to the passengers in the airplane.
I'm just pointing out that literally you can find thousands of videos of people flying.
Weren't you talking about Neil deGrasse Tyson earlier and how great he is? You want to know what Neil deGrasse Tyson
Don't change the topic, bro.
No, this is on topic. I'm talking about what he's saying. So, from 120, Neil deGrasse Tyson said, you can't see the curve of the Earth even from 128,000 feet. And he said that stuff is flat, and that's a direct quote. Okay? So
really?
Was he wrong?
Can you show me where that quote is? Can you link me
to
said
quote? Oh, yes.
Post it in the side chat. I'm curious if he actually said that.
This is going to be fun.
I see why you just can't ban him purely because he's speaking facts.
Hold on. We're trying to point out to him that he's lying. Even his priest, who he cited earlier, tells the world, because he's a scientific communicator, that from the height of 128,000 feet, the height of the Felix Baumgartner space jump, where he jumped from outer space, that stuff is flat. you shouldn't be able to perceive the curvature of the Earth from below the International Space Station. Mathematically, you have to be beyond the International Space Station to perceive that type of curvature.
That's wild.
I know, it's amazing what your scientific priests tell you, and then you throw under the bus when you want to make arguments to flat earthers.
I mean, we're right now looking at if you look at the live stream of the space station, you can clearly see the Earth is very curved.
Okay, so Neil deGrasse Tyson's going to be speaking to you in a minute, sunshine. It's okay.
Oh, I want to bring this up. This is awesome. When you guys say on the live stream of the International Space Station, that's not a live stream of the International Space Station.
I'll post it right now in the chat.
It says live on it, Indio. You must believe him.
I know it says live. It's a live on YouTube. It's a live on YouTube, 100% live on YouTube. It's not live from the International Space Station because if you go to NASA HDEB, which is the actual camera, it's not showing the same image. So you got a problem.
Is it showing an image though?
Depends.
The YouTube video could be delayed.
Depends because they say they have 45 minutes of darkness where they don't film, right? So it could be showing the image. It might not be. But that live stream, it never goes black. Really weird.
Well, sun behind Earth equals no light, so...
The point, though, is you can't tell the fucking difference. Why is that?
Never looked.
I mean,
you think something which is not live is live. You can't tell the difference. And you're sitting there trying to say, this is proof, and you can't discern the difference.
I mean, it's flying over China right now.
No, it's not.
How do you know that?
It's literally on the live stream right now. It's literally on the
live stream. How do you know it is? Why are you even trying to reverse the burden of proof? How do you know it is?
It's literally just posting its location right now.
How do you know that? How do you know that's where it actually is? Maybe it's parked in the fucking Pacific Ocean.
If you look at, if you click on the link,
I know there's a screen that you're looking at that shows you things.
Well, hang on. I can prove it. We watched it go over us one night, and we could see the red flashing light, and it was in line with where it said on mine.
That's a new one, dude. Just said the red flashing light.
But you can see it in the sky. You can actually see it, bro.
What, the red flashing light?
You can see it.
The red flashing lights on aircraft are so
and
they don't
moves at the same speed.
Dude, why are you ever talking to me? The red flashing light on aircraft are so they don't hit other aircraft. The ISS
it's not
doesn't have a red flashing
It moves
light.
faster.
Okay, you're muted because you're just interrupting now. So, I guess I'm gonna get it out. Like you guys are gonna try to overtalk when you say something stupid and you get caught. I'm gonna get it out. You're gonna get muted. So you might as well just mute yourself and get cooked like a man. Said your little girls and have to frickin' interrupt. ISS doesn't have a red flashing light. It has no need for one. It's in no danger of fucking collision from aircraft. If it did have a red flashing light, it would be like, look, it has a red flashing light. It's in danger from aircraft. Dude, is that you laughing, Jedi? Dude, this is crazy, huh?
It's fucking ridiculous, dude. Fuck.
How can they be so confident about stuff they know so little about?
Because it's got a red flashing light on it, or the little red flashing light says live.
Literally just imagining shit.
Maybe they were having a party in the cupola. A rave party.
Oh, damn.
So they're just arguing their hallucinations at this point. That's how fucked in the head they are.
I know. It's fucking... But the problem with these guys, specifically these guys, is they have zero self-awareness. They don't even realize what's happening to them.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, we're going to be a geometry echo chamber that, measuring things in geometry proves the shape of the thing in geometry. Yeah, we'll definitely be an echo chamber about that.
Y'all get any of those globe Earth measurements?
I need them, mate. Pictures from space.
trying to figure out how measurement is seeing and seeing is measurement. I'm still trying to figure that one out.
Dan's still trying to figure out why measurement's relevant when we're talking about shapes and shit.
Dude, like, just reading these guys, like, you guys are funny because it's just, you're all gossip and meta, like, literal high school shit. I mean, maybe you're all in high school, but it's like, maybe if we social shame them, they'll treat us like we want to be treated and let us walk all over them. No, dude, it ain't gonna happen. I would have to give a shit what you think to modify my behavior based upon your words, and I don't. Yeah, okay. Is he muted? Dude, you're not muted. Why
Which one do you want to talk to?
Okay,
Well,
I was
he's not muted
I've been
anymore.
muted for like a half an hour, and I've been sitting.
Dude, you were unmuted like 30 minutes, like 20 minutes ago at least.
No, I wasn't. I
Your
literally
buddy-
just
yeah,
checked.
your
like
buddy
5
said-
seconds.
Your buddy
Yeah,
said
I
you were
got muted
unmuted.
again.
Well, I didn't do it.
Okay, well, I got muted again, and I've been muted for a while. So that's
Okay.
why I've been typing in chat. Sorry.
Yeah, I just unmuted him again a couple of minutes ago. I don't know who muted him, but you're free now, Kelbo.
Okay.
So we're saying the same old dirt flat earth arguments that you guys still can't handle. Like,
I
what's
mean,
the issue?
you know what's funny is they were saying this stuff over 100 years ago, and it got debunked, and people
you
realized
keep
how
saying-
silly this stuff.
Says the
they
guy
sound.
that literally
And the
debunked
number of flat
himself.
earthers dropped significantly once people realized, yeah, this is just bunk science. It's like easily.
Doug, have you noticed, because we have, at least I have, that all your arguments are sociological? Do you realize that? The Earth's a globe because these things happen between these people. And the Earth's a globe because these people over here did this, that, and the other thing.
I mean, I just
Why don't you
posted a
actually
link.
present some evidence?
I mean, I just posted a link of SpaceX launching the Dragon, as it were, and that makes me think the Earth looks pretty round to me. It looks like a spheroid to me.
Well, that's a problem.
Yeah, it shows that the Earth is not flat. That is a problem.
No,
Isn't
it's a
it?
problem for you because it shows it round when it shouldn't. Because you guys can't do math for some reason.
Okay, but if it shouldn't, but then why is it?
Like, do you
That's
even know
a
how big the
problem
Earth
that-
is,
you
guys?
Tell me. You tell me if the geometry that they're saying exists and it's showing they're curved in their image, and when it shouldn't, according to the geometry, why does it? The Chinese
They're not
space
using it-
station
they're
shows
not using-
the Chinese space station, right? There's a Chinese space station too. It's at the same elevation. It shows a flat Earth. Why do they show a flat Earth? Maybe because Chinese people can do fucking math, and Americans can't. So you can show them any fucking stupid thing on a flashing screen, and they believe
Or
it.
maybe because it's an oblate spheroid, they're on a point that's not as curved as
Okay,
others.
what percentage of the Earth? Let's just do the math. What percentage of the Earth would you see from the ISS? The percentage of the surface area, based upon the images you saw, guesstimate how much of the surface of the Earth they're looking at.
I don't know. It depends on what image you're looking at.
And the
Well, they're
angle.
always the same. They're always the same elevation.
And
It
the
only
aperture.
fluctuates like within a few kilometers. Like, so it isn't going to change that much.
Also, I'm gonna link another
Just
video.
take a look at one of their images and guesstimate, right?
I'm not great at.
Also, I just posted a link. Tell me what you
Yeah,
think
I'm
of this
sure you're not, dude.
video.
I have
Indio,
bad
can you
depth
check out this link?
perception, So, dang,
Why?
I just posted a
being an
link,
ass.
but it
Why?
seems to be that this flat earther, they just
No, he
accidentally
didn't, dude. You're an idiot. You're just like you're digging. Like you're going further and further down of stupidity.
No, this is a flat earther. He was genuinely thought the world was flat, so he did an experiment,
And
and he turns out
okay,
he
tell
proved
us what he did.
he thought that if he shines a light at one end and then takes a picture at the other end, that he would still be able to see the light.
That's not what the experiment was.
And unfortunately, the flat earther
That's not
found
what
out.
the experiment was, and you're going to keep going. Really? that you don't know what he did and you're going to keep going.
Didn't some guys a couple years ago do exactly that, where they tried testing that?
Okay. You want me to tell you what he did?
I'm not talking about that guy, but yes.
Okay. They took 2 boards and they cut a 6-inch diameter hole in them and they spaced them, fucking like 1.6 kilometers apart. And they had a laser, but they melted it because they left it on too long. So because there was 100 people there, they decided they're going to use a flashlight and try to shine them through the holes in the boards over a distance of like fucking 2 kilometers or something. And they couldn't see the light. I wonder why. Why couldn't they see the light?
Could it be that the Earth is curved?
Could it be that the holes weren't aligned? No way, right? So how can we tell if the holes were aligned? Oh, dude, you know what you could do? You could lift the light up over the boards and see if you could see them. Because, you know what? This is actually a flat Earth proof, dude. Do you know why? If the Earth was curved, he would have been 18 feet under the curve of the Earth, under the horizon. So to see the light from lifting it over the boards,
here's the thing, though.
lifting the light to see it over the boards, you'd have to be 18 feet fucking tall.
Well, here's the thing, though. If the Earth is flat,
What I said, you're muted, dude. Listen, this is your only chance. Address what I said. You're not gonna fucking monologue. This is your evidence. You're not gonna run away from it.
Okay, I have a point to add for evidence.
well,
Dove,
I was
address
going
your
to
evidence.
Okay.
Okay,
There was
I'm
a
just
couple.
pointing out.
Sorry.
I just want to point out for just a second, and then I'll mute myself. But like, if there wasn't, Earth was flat, why are you mentioning terms like curve? Because there wouldn't be such.
Dude.
I mean, if
So he
there was no,
mentions curve, therefore it's a globe.
I mean, if the Earth was flat, you would only be
Guys are
concerned about
getting
length and
stupider
distance.
every second that goes by.
Well, if you grant that there's a curve,
Actually,
then,
listen. Dude, no, stop. I'm talking. Okay. So, Steelman, what I just said, I want to make sure you were listening.
So basically, if the Earth was flat, you would only have two-dimensional vectors.
That's not what I said. I didn't say vectors. I didn't say anything like that, dude. I'm talking about your your evidence that you posted.
Yes, I posted evidence.
What did I
And
say
literally-
about that? Steelman, what I said.
Why would I want to steel man a flat Earth argument? It's kind of like defeats
It's
my
to
own
check
argument.
to see if you were even know what the argument even was.
There was no point to your argument.
Yeah,
okay. Super cope, dude. You weren't listening.
You brought the video. No, you brought the video and then he disputed it in detail. So that's what he's asking you to repeat the critique of the video that you brought as evidence.
I would guess he didn't even watch the video.
I doubt it, yeah.
Okay, so your buddy here, maybe your buddy can salvage your reputation. I doubt it. And you took a big fucking L on that one, man. That was bad.
Yeah, just pathetically stupid.
You know how embarrassed I'd be if someone made like a complex refutation of something, some evidence I presented, and then they said, "Steelman, my argument," and I was like, "You didn't make an argument." Fucking.
Why would I steelman it?
Why would I steelman a globe earther argument?
Yeah, I'll just lie about what you said. Why would I be honest about what the flat earther said? What a dunce.
Oh, dude, who was the other guy? Did he leave?
Which one?
Kelbo. Kelbo, you wanted to talk when he was talking, so you gave him first dibs, and he embarrassed himself. So maybe you can do better. Fuck, dude, don't give that dude first dibs no more. Just go first. Though he is an easy act to follow, so you like.
I guess Kelbo doesn't have anything to add.
Okay, what about the other dude that wanted to interrupt? Retromind. You wanted to interrupt. Now's your
sorry.
time to shine.
They only want to talk when other people are talking, apparently.
Yeah, one of those guys who only speaks to interrupt.
No, I'm sorry. I passed out.
Oh, that's understandable.
Did someone say my name? That's sorry, I just got back.
Yeah, we want to know, like, what's your issue with geometry?
Yeah, what's the proposition?
I asked you a question. Why are you asking me a question? I said, what's your issue with geometry?
Is that in a propositional format? Can you put that in a propositional format for me?
A question? No, you cannot. It's not possible.
No, I don't
I'm
think he
asking a
knows the
question.
context.
I don't know the
I think he
answer.
forgets
That's why
the
I'm asking.
context of the question.
Well,
yeah, I know what we're talking
he does
about.
know
What's
the context. Okay, the context is our previous conversation.
Yeah, you need to put it in propositional format.
No, I'm not gonna.
No.
You tell me what I said to you.
You don't have
Tell
a
me,
claim
no,
to
no,
make.
tell me what
You're
I
not
said to
making
you
any
in the
claims.
previous conversation.
Don't have a proposition, then I don't have a rebuttal to any of your justifications or arguments, right?
Okay,
So
my proposition: if A equals B and B equals C, A also equals C. Here's my proposition.
And how does that relate to the topic about well, you mentioned physics or something? You're asking me about mathematical
I'm glad
theory?
you asked. I'm glad you
You're
asked.
asking
No,
me,
this is
like, how
geometry.
does that relate to
This
that?
is geometry. This is geometry, yes. So
Yeah,
in
it's all
geometry,
geometry.
we can compare two things, and we know that if those are equal, and one of those things are equal to a third thing, they're all three of them are equal to each other. Okay? Okay? And this is how we can measure things and figure out if they're all equal. So we can measure the Earth to be flat because we can tell its profile is equal to a third thing.
Yeah, I don't take that as a formal argument. Yeah, that's a very informal argument. Like those things, you're making a very, very strong leap there. Like how does A squared plus B squared equals C squared equate to the Earth being flat?
I didn't say that. I said if A
sorry.
equals
What did
B,
you say? Can you
I
repeat?
said
Sorry.
if A
My bad.
equals B and B equals C, A also equals C.
Yeah, and those are letters.
They're variables. They're variables.
They're variables, not letters.
No, they're variables.
Could they be both? Could they be both?
In this context, they're variables. You're trying to do a word concept fallacy. That shit ain't gonna work, bro.
Wait, what does that mean? What's a word concept fallacy? I don't know. I've never heard of that before. Oh, Google it? Oh, okay.
You're trying to use the word letter outside of the context it's being used in. Okay, I'm using letters as variables, which is standard notation in modern mathematics and geometry. And you're trying to take them in the context of how we use them in a language as a letter in a word. It's out of the context I'm using it.
And how does that relate to the Earth being flat? Oh, I didn't realize you were done talking. Sorry. How does that relate to the Earth being flat? Are you going to mute me, or am I going to be muted now?
No, I'm trying to figure out like how much ADHD you have and whether it's
Oh, I thought that was like what the argument is. Like you're
no. Why don't you repeat to me what I just said?
Flat, right?
Repeat to me what? No, repeat it. You diverted off the topic, and now you're asking me how that relates to the Earth is flat. Are you serious?
Yep. Yes.
Okay. I didn't bring it down this road. You did. I didn't say any of this shit had anything to do with flat Earth. This side topic, right? If A equals B, B equals C, A also equals C, right? You asked me about whether those things are variables or letters, or whether they can be both.
It's a simple question.
I didn't say that had to do with anything to do with the Earth being flat. Nothing. So why would you ask if they somehow are related to the Earth being flat when you brought it here? Oh, I know why. Because you're a dishonest scumbag.
Okay, well, can I say something? At least what I'm interpreting from it
Yeah, you
is
better
what do
say
you-
go ahead.
No. Can we discuss the variables again? Can we discuss
I'm sitting
those
on
again?
I'm sitting on the fence on this part. I'm just saying when you asked him, and he asked you what a propositional was, and that's what you gave him as a propositional. He was okay. Yes. Now he was trying to ask you. Like
you need to describe the variables again. You need to be fully straightforward with
He's
them.
trying to understand what your propositional.
You're not explaining the variables correctly. Basically, what he's saying.
He was disputing.
No. Indio. You gotta
Don't
re-explain
tell
the
me-
variables, bro.
Don't tell me what he did. I was here. Okay.
No, you need to explain. You need
You're
to.
not telling me what I need to do. You need to.
You're not gonna make your point valid if you're not gonna explain the variables.
Okay. Listen.
That's what we're trying to get at. Is we don't understand what you're trying to say.
Listen, dumb fuck. Interrupt me again, you will be banned. I'm pissed now. Okay. Telling you, interrupt me again, you will be banned. That's your only fucking warning. He didn't ask me about what the variables represented. He asked me if the variables were letters. In the context of letters within a word. But within the context of whether letters are in a word, A does not equal B. They're separate letters. B does not equal C. But as variables, where the letter represents some other thing, A can equal B, B can equal C, and A can equal, or B can equal C, and A can also equal C. Okay? That's why I said it was a word context fallacy. Either you are fucking trolling, or you're intentionally trying to gaslight, or you're retarded. Which one is it? You're not clever. You're not going to trick me. You guys ain't fucking equipped to trick me.
I'll put my money that he's retarded.
I genuinely think he was just trying to ask a question. I'm sorry, I won't put it in.
What was the question that he was trying to ask?
What the variables mean.
No, he didn't ask that.
Again, no. He literally said explain the variables.
No, he did not. We record this. Good try, though. You know that thing up there? That's a YouTube bot.
Okay, let's go back. Let's show the clip. Let's show the clip, bro.
Back. It's support what you said.
You go back.
Dude, no, you're going to go back and support what you said. You said he asked about what the variables
he asked about
mean.
it. So let's show the clip, bro.
Demonstrate that he asked about it.
Let's roll the YouTube live stream back.
Okay, you do it. I'm going to continue. So, since you care so much, he didn't ask about the variables. He asked whether those variables were letters. That's what he said. Everybody heard it. You know it. You're just trying to recover. And continue down the same bullshit and deflect. Okay? So, we're gonna continue this with RetroMind. So, there's a purpose to this. So, I want him to accept, which he rejected, that the form of this argument is correct, which means he's disputing the law of identity. And if he wants to dispute that, this conversation's over, because nothing we can say even makes sense, because things have no identity, including the words we're using. So, would you is the form of the argument sound? RetroMind, you're unmuted. I know you guys are all in the back chat, scheming.
No, I'm just trying to understand this, dude. This is all.
Okay, listen, he said, what is your proposition? Can I have it in propositional form? So I gave him the form of the argument, right? We started there. So here's the form of the argument. This isn't one, I'm just using it as an example. X is a necessary condition of Y. Okay, so that's a form of an argument. The form of my argument is the law of identity argument. We're trying to identify whether the Earth is flat or curved. And we're doing this from comparison between something we know is curved, we know is flat. So we can compare the surface of the Earth to that thing. Right? So we have the thing, and it's equal to flat. A straight thing, that's equal to flat. The equivalent of flat. Now, if one of those things, we don't know what the flat thing is. So we're going to take the straight thing and compare it to the Earth. And if those things are equal, then through the law of identity, the Earth is flat. You understand? That's the form of the argument. See,
I understand
you grows can't even make this argument. You can't even construct a logical proposition to support a globe at all. It can't even be constructed. Do you know why? Do you know why it can't be constructed? Because you have no starting axiom from which to even base it on. You have no sense data. You have no sensorium. You have no qualia. You can't go out into the fucking world and just axiomatically even have a starting position. You have to start with an assumption, and when you do that, you have inference, and when you have inference, you have affirming the consequent, and then your whole argument's formed from a logical fallacy, and that's a
Yes.
fucking wrap. It can't even be proved.
Yes, but why didn't you just explain it like that to begin with?
Because he wanted to go into whether I was using the word A as a letter.
Okay, yeah, but okay.
Obviously, I
but
was
you
not.
could have just explained. Okay, yes, I understand that, and you were mad, and you wanted to explain it that way, but you could have just explained it that way. Is all I'm saying. Please don't get mad. Or
Yeah, it's
just
a yes or
trying
no
to say.
question. I don't know why.
Yeah.
But no, wait,
You know that's
please.
very common in teaching logic, or even like when I was a kid. I think I learned this in 3rd grade. If A equals B and B equals C, A also equals C. I learned that like when I was in 3rd grade.
Okay, yeah, no,
How did
no,
you
I
not
know.
learn that?
Okay, no, it's not that I didn't learn that. It's just that you just threw it out there, so I'm just sitting here like, okay, you just gave me a set of variables, and I didn't know what to do with the variables you gave me, because you gave me no context for them.
No, I gave you a relationship.
Okay.
A relationship between variables. What the variable is irrelevant. Because
but
that
I didn't
relationship will hold
understand
true.
that.
That relationship will hold true no matter what the variables are.
Now you're dating the letters.
Oh, okay, and okay, just
Okay,
stop.
you're
stop,
just
Retro,
gone. I'm
stop.
banning you.
Okay,
Goodbye.
no, stop.
Your buddy's gone, dude.
Okay,
I'm
but
done
okay,
with
but at least for me, like, okay, at least when I was trying to understand, I didn't get that without the context. At least that was my that just I didn't get that. And okay, now I understand it that you explained it, and it makes sense to me now. But just giving me the random variables, I couldn't infer what you were trying to say.
I wasn't talking to you. I was talking to him, and he just randomly blurted out, "Can you put that in propositional form?" He didn't say specifically what I was supposed to put in propositional form, but I knew what he was trying to do because I've been doing this for a long time and dealing with shifty scumbags for a while.
He's just we're autistic. That's
no, he's not.
Yes, he is, dude. We are both, and I am too.
So,
okay, listen. I'll take that at face value and just default to believing that he is autistic and that he actually didn't mean all that shit and that he really is a shifty bastard or an immoral scumbag and he just can't help himself, which I fucking highly doubt. But, you know, he seems young and foolish and has a big ego, and we've all been there. So I'm going to give him a mulligan, but he's still banned because he's just
I
a nuisance at
understand
this
that.
point.
But, like, he does have impulse control, so sometimes he does get a little out of control like that. But, like
well, I mean, he effectively said geometry don't prove geometry, and, like, what am I supposed to do with that?
Okay, but yeah, no. And from what I was interpreting from what he said, he forgot what that meant, and he was trying to ask what that said, and then it led into that argument. And then,
You don't have to defend him. Just move on, dude. I'm already over it. Dude, we move on quick here. We don't...
No, I'm just trying to, say it to, I'm not really defending him at this point. I'm just trying to,
I understand where you're coming from. Believe me.
If we're moving on, can I bring up a point that I just have a genuine question about? Like, I don't even get it. Like, I know this is common, people ask, but, like, if the Earth is flat, is there an end to it? Like, what's up with that?
What is this, Edge Day or something? I've heard this question, how many times? What are we up to?
Genuine question.
I know, but, it's abnormal that it's being asked so much today.
At least a dozen times.
My bad, I just caught here, guys.
Yeah, I'm not blaming you. I'm just making an observation.
Don't raise your voice. Just asking a question, okay?
Okay, if you're going to troll, you're going to get kicked out.
I'm not. I'm genuinely not trolling.
Then why are you telling me not to raise my voice? I wasn't raising my voice, but I will.
You're raising your voice a little bit.
No, I will raise my voice. I'm not yet. You're going to find out. I'm going to. If you want to keep down this road, dude.
I just want to hear about the edge of the Earth.
Who thinks there's an edge? I had a sensation or a feeling that he, right? because they like the idea.
in the real world, thinking about
They
that.
give you
Yeah.
like that.
Well, I mean, yes, it is.
Okay,
No,
it
it's
doesn't matter.
like
If
look up in the sky, up towards the north, there